Right now, there is a voice inside your head reading every single word you are hearing. You did not choose that voice. You did not ask it to appear. And yet, judging, planning, worrying, narrating. But here's the part nobody tells you. That voice inside your head was never originally yours. Think about this. When you were a baby, there was no voice, no inner commentary, no little narrator running in the background. Just raw experience. Then something strange happened. The people around you started talking to you. Your mother said your name. Your father gave you instructions. Teachers corrected you out loud, and slowly, your brain began to copy those voices. At first, you spoke them out loud. Watch a small child do anything difficult. They narrate every single step. I am putting the block here. Now I am picking up this one. That is not random. That is a child building the machinery of thought. Psychologist Lev Vygotsky discovered this more than a century ago. He found that children gradually move their external speech inward. The voice that was once out loud gets quieter, then quieter still, until one day, it disappears inside the skull and becomes the voice you hear right now, which means the voice in your head started as other people's voices. You absorb them, you internalize them, and somewhere along the way, you forgot they were ever anyone else's. But here's where it gets stranger. Researcher Charles Fernyhough spent years studying inner speech, and he found something that surprised almost everyone. The voice inside your head is not one voice, it is many. Sometimes it sounds like you giving advice to yourself. Sometimes it sounds like someone questioning you. Sometimes it feels like an argument between two sides of the same mind. Fernyhough called this dialogic inner speech. Your inner voice is not a monologue, it is a conversation. Which brings us back to the question most people have never thought to ask. If there are two sides talking inside your head, who exactly is listening? Sometimes you tell yourself, I need to wake up early tomorrow, but then another voice says, just 5 more minutes. Sometimes you say, I should stop overthinking this, and yet you keep overthinking anyway. So here's the question. If you are the one saying stop thinking, who is the one refusing? Your brain is not one unified system. It is made of many different systems, running simultaneously, competing, negotiating, overriding each other. There is the fast emotional system, impulsive, primitive, reacting before you can stop it. Then there is the slow, rational system, careful, analytical, arriving slightly too late. You experience this conflict every single day. Imagine seeing a chocolate cake while trying to lose weight. One system says eat it, another system says you are trying to be disciplined. But if both voices came from the same you, why are they arguing with each other at all? Scientists discovered something even more disturbing while studying patients who underwent split brain surgery. Inside your skull, your brain has two halves, a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere. Normally, they talk to each other constantly through a thick bundle of nerves called the corpus callosum, but in rare surgeries performed to treat severe epilepsy, that connection was cut. And what researcher Michael Gazzaniga found inside those patients changed the way we understand the self forever. In one experiment, he showed an instruction only to the right side of a patient's brain. The patient stood up and began walking. Then Gazzaniga asked, why did you stand up? Here's what should have happened. The patient should have said, I do not know, because the left side of the brain never received the instruction. That is not what happened. Without any hesitation, the left brain invented an explanation. The patient said something like, I wanted to stretch my legs. It sounded completely believable and it felt completely true. But it was entirely made up. Gazzaniga called the left hemisphere the interpreter. Its job is to take whatever decisions the brain has already made and construct a logical story around them so that the conscious you feels like it was always in control. Which means the voice in your head may not be driving the car at all, and it may simply be narrating the journey. arriving after every decision has already been made. And whispering, yes, that's what I meant to do. Neuroscientist Benjamin Libet took this even further. In experiments measuring brain activity, he found that the brain begins preparing for a movement several hundred milliseconds before the person consciously decides to move. The decision happens first, deep in the unconscious. Your hand moves, and only then does the voice in your head say, I decided to do that. But did you really? Or was that decision already made somewhere deeper? Before the voice inside your head ever woke up. For centuries, humans believed consciousness was the captain of the ship, the thing in charge of everything. But modern science is pointing at something far stranger. Perhaps consciousness is not the captain. Perhaps it is the ship's log, recording what happened, making it sound like a plan, and sending it upstairs as memory. And yet, even knowing all of this, the voice is still useful. Research shows that inner speech helps you regulate emotion. It helps you plan. It helps you resist impulses. When you talk yourself through something difficult, your brain genuinely performs better. So perhaps the voice is not the ruler of your mind, but it is still one of its most important tools. The next time that voice inside your head starts running, pause for just a second. Ask yourself something strange. Am I creating this thought, or am I simply hearing it? Because maybe you were never the voice in your mind. Maybe you were something quieter. The commentary and something that was always there. Before the first word ever appeared, and perhaps the greatest mystery is not what the voice says, but who exactly has been listening to it all this time. This has been Mind Archive.